Morning to you all. We want to welcome you to this press conference. Before going any further, I want to first thank the colleagues from the media houses who are here to add value to this course, which is updating the Gambians about our activities and plans ahead of the 2024 Paris Games. I want to introduce the high table. On my right here is Mr. Seni Kamara, is the Secretary General of the Gambia National Paralympic Committee, GNPC. Next to him is the Vice President, Mr. Seni Koli, Vice President of the Gambia National Paralympic Committee. Ms. Ramujeng is an executive member of the Gambia National Paralympic Committee. And on this end, Ms. Mama Fall Ka, she's the admin secretary at the Gambia National Paralympic Committee. Mr. Lamin Kuradabo is the treasurer of the Gambia National Paralympic Committee. Also, we have executive members of the GNPC who are with us here. Saida Juf is an executive member. Ms. Mariama Bojang, also an executive member. And also we have athletes and coaches. Yankuba Danjo, an executive member, is also with us here, and a very important attachment to our teams, especially the teams that we're training. Ms. Fatima Jawara also is also a deputy administrative admin with the GNPC as well. Without much ado, I think I'll have to just hand over the batons to Madam Mama Falka to welcome the delegates, to welcome the press and also members of the GNPC to this important press conference. Mama Soles.
You all welcome to the Independence Stadium, where the National Paralympic Committee office is hosted. We are pleased to have you all here. Today is a very important day for us because it will give the whole country the rundown of what we are about to do for the whole year. Hence, it's an Olympic year. And when we say Olympic, we say Paralympic, so it works together. It's a twin brother. And today's press briefing for the first time for the year of 2024, it's going to be a very important day for us because we'll give you the rundown of the both local and international programs that we're about to do as far as the classification and qualification for the games is concerned for the Paris Games in September. So my able Secretary General is here and our press attaché is also here. We'll give you the rundown of the programs that we're about to do because when we say a Paralympic year, it's a very busy year. That's where we have all the classifications and qualifications for the games. So I am pleased to welcome you all. In a minute, we will have the Secretary General and then the press attaché to give you the rundown. And from there, we'll have the Q&A, that is the question and answer session, where we'll welcome all questions pertaining to what we have said here, pertaining to the games as well. So you're all welcome. And I am pleased to be here with you all, my media people, because we are all in the same boat together. I missed this job though, but we are all in it together. So thank you very much, Mr. Drame, for having us here. And Mr. Seni for going to give us, who is going to give us the rundown of today's press briefing. Thank you very much. You're once again welcome.
Madam Mama Fall Ka, as he said, here is the home for disability sports. The Independence Stadium is where we are located. Before I bring in Mr. Seni Kamara, I just want to give you, a breakdown of what we are doing here locally. Some of the events that GNPC has started doing before the September Paralympic Games. We all know 2024 will be a busy year for disabled athletes, that is para-athletes, because every athlete will want to have that qualifications to go and showcase their God-given talent to the world. This is one of the events where you can show the world that disability is not inability. We always said it. But when you go to events like this is where athletes feel that extraordinary, feelings to tell the world, not only sitting on the wheelchair, but there's something unique that we can also do, which able folks can do. We have embarked on many activities, and we've planned to continue with many activities as well, as far as the year under GNPC activities are concerned. I just want to give you a breakdown of some of the things that we do, and Mr. Colley will get into it in details to explain to the press and the Gambian in particular about how we plan to go into 2024 Paralympic Games. We have events that we have started locally, and that is the scouting of athletes countrywide, because most of the time we are focused in the greater Banjul areas, and we do believe there are other hidden talents in the other part of the country who could be potential athletes for the Gambia in para events. So the executive, under the leadership of Mr. Suleiman Colley, by the way, is joining us online. I should have mentioned him as well. Is joining us, who is presently in the United Kingdom, but is with us in the press conference here. He has joined us online. So under his leadership, because the vision is not to only focus on people in the greater Banjul area, but to bring on board every person with disability in the country to engage in something that can at least, reduce that stress from us, to engage in an activities where you can show the world this is what we can do. So the countrywide scouting, just recently, the reactivation of the basketball team in URR, happened. Mr. Martin Johnson is with us here. He's a coach. He traveled with the vice president to Basse URR.
He's also a coach.
He's also a coach, a basketball coach. So they went there and engaged our colleagues in the URR, and we can report today to say it was a successful meeting, because we have, they were received there by, the deputy governor and also the youth rep, our representative in the council at the URR, and some, key stakeholders, gathered together to brainstorm and look at things that can add value to the cause of promoting disability sports, which is para sports. So the GNPC has embarked on that recently, and it's an ongoing process because it's a nationwide tour. And Basse was the first target because there was a structure in Basse, but it went dormant. But now the executive, believe the best way to do that is to go back to these areas where we have structures to, educate them about, para sports, to tell them what to do, train their, trainers who are there so that they'll be able to understand the games with the rules and, regulations as well. We are also, working with the educational system, to introduce para sports in the curriculums. Because, there are disabled people who are in, schools, and, and there are PE teachers in schools, but how many of these PE teachers know what para sports is? So that is why the executive is trying to reach to the college, the Gambian college. This is where they train teachers, especially PE teachers, that goes in. So, we are trying to also look into that. The Secretary General has, an extensive information about that aspect of it. And also what we intend to do this year, before the Paralympic Games, is the proposed basketball competition. We want to bring a wheelchair basketball competition into being, because most of the time we only do basketball when for exhibition. Maybe we have people that we want to, show that we can do, or sometimes the sub-region. Now we can also boast to say for the first time last year, a basketball team went to South Africa, even though it was difficult, but for the first time in the history of para sports, for the Commonwealth Games qualification, a basketball team traveled to South Africa. So that was a plus to this executive, because the executive has a lot of things, that they do behind the scene. There are a lot of challenges that occur, though, which my Secretary General will talk about. But that notwithstanding, the executive are always on the field, always on their feet to make sure that at least, even if the government is not, in a position to do it, but we're able to do something not to discourage these young athletes, who see this as their only way of, activities to do in this world. So that also is on the plan. So in extension, we'll go international. We have colleagues outside who play basketball. Sometimes they invite us to basketball competitions in the sub-region to go and participate, join them to celebrate events of their respective countries. So we believe, why can't we also do the same thing organize a basketball championship that is going to include our sub-region, brothers and sisters to come and join us so that we can do that. That is also on the pipeline as well. So, in short, this is what I want to say before I give the mic to Mr. Seni Kamara, who will be talking about most of these things. We also planning some international championship. That's the most important things that GNPC prioritize, because this is the only way that we can go far in the world. This is the only way that the world can know what we are doing. Qualifiers are many this year, because the event itself is September 2024. But before September, the Paralympic Games qualifiers are taking place across the globe. And in the next 2-3 days, a team will leave here for Dubai. That is going to be the World Powerlifting Championship. This is the Pathway Championship. And this event is very important, because going through this event, you'll be able to score that point to get the qualification for powerlifters to go into the Paris 2024 Games. Because for powerlifting competition, it is not like where you go and win the gold medal, or win this thing or the timing. No, it's a point. You are qualified through points. And we have, top class athletes who, are very difficult to beat for this sports, especially where our top man competes in the up to 107 categories. That category is one of the most challenging categories in powerlifting championship. That's where you have people who come and lift 220 kilos, 250 kilos, 190 kilos. So in doing so, you have to make sure that at least you are prepared, well prepared for those events, and are not only prepared to go and lift the irons there, but there are a lot of things that need to be done. So we are thankful today, we can say Gambia's participation in Dubai is confirmed. And again, through the engagement of our leadership, they have done a lot of work behind the scene to be able to get us a ticket, accommodation, and also a registration fee, which is very expensive. But they were able to get that without the intervention of our stakeholders here. So the only thing that we need from Gambian stakeholder will be, highlighted later, when my press, my Secretary General is going. And also Tunisia, on the 2nd of of next month, a team will leave here for Tunisia. That is the Athletic Championship, which I'll be heading to Tunisia to go for an event. That event also will include Malantamba, who was in Tokyo 2020 for the Paralympic Games. So Mala will be going this time again with Fatou Sane. Fatou Sane was also in Tokyo in 2020 as the only female, or the first female, athlete after Ida left, who went to a Paralympic Games. She's young, at the age of 26, 27, she's a Paralympian already. And she will be going again to get that qualification, where she'll get the place to go again. We have many events. Morocco is on the way coming. Japan is in the way coming. Tilbis, Georgia, is also a second way for the pathway for the powerlifting games. So these are all events that we intend to participate in to go to the Paralympic Games. Because we do not intend to go with only 2 athletes this year. Gambia, the sport is growing. We are now involved in many, many para sports. So we want to represent this country in many events that are going to be involved in the Paralympic Games. And we believe with the support of our stakeholders, and more especially the government of this country, if they're able to push us a little bit, we do not ask for many things at a time. What we ask for is, is lesser than, I can say more than 60-70% of what others will ask for. We only need a little to boost these young men and women who want to be part of the world to show what they can do, and who don't want to see disability as an obstacle to what they want to do in their life. So without much ado, I think I'll just handle now the mic to Mr. Seni Kamara. Mr. Seni Kamara, by the way, is a knowledgeable expert in disability. Is the focal person of disability in this country. The country outside, anybody who needs information about disability is the one that they reach to. He was in the United Nations recently, in the United States of America, where he went to present project and propose of disability in this country. And by the way, he's also one of the architects who are designing our bill to be a law in this country. So GNPC is lucky to get knowledgeable people like him. By the way, he's retired though, but it's not, still the country needs his services. So he's still working with the country. Not tired. So Mr. Seni, the mic is with you now, and the press is listening to you with regards to the development of parasports. Thank you.
My dear, how we call it again, admin officer. Thank you, Mr. Senikoli, the Vice Ramujang, and the rest of the executive members of the GNPC, colleagues, athletes, the coaches, the press here present, both electronic and print media. It's a pleasure, and I think I also have to take cue in saying thank you for your visit and welcome you to this press briefing. As the saying goes, nothing for us without us. And this is why you still see some of our athletes who are the main cause are present here today. They are international athletes we are proud of. Just to summarize, parasports is about more than what happens at the Para Games. It is about raising awareness of parasports in the world, particularly for the Gambia. And this is why GNPC has the mandate to develop and promote parasports. Others will call it disability sports, but our language is parasports. It's also about creating a community and celebrating our athletes for the potentials they have shown or they are going to show. And this is going to sell the Gambia if we have such para-athletes. And we are proud to say we have now 5 recognized international athletes from GNPC representing the Gambia. They are here with us and they are traveling far and wide to make sure that they are able to excel. It is also about inspiring others. It is also about exciting the community or the world at large. This is why the values are there and the values are in 4. You have the courage to participate and come out and show your potentials. The determination to make the grade or to excel. The inspiration to inspire everybody and make sure that what is aimed at is achieved. And the last part is equality, which is an advocacy. So that whatever is being provided for the so-called able bodies, a similar or an alternative is created for persons with disabilities. And this is why in sports or in parasports, we call them persons with determination. That's the encouraging part. So therefore, we are trying to create a vision where we want to see parasports excel throughout. So this is a step in the right direction. Without your support, without your intervention to disseminate the information on parasports, perhaps a lot would be in the doubt to say, how comes a person with disability doing sports up to the international level? And may I hasten to say that the IPC, that's the International Paralympic Committee, currently sanctioned 28 disciplines, sporting disciplines. 22 are in the summer and 6 are in the winter. So these are the para athletes who participate in between these games. This is why we have the International Paralympics, we have the national federations, we have the National Paralympic Committees where Gambia is a member in the IPC, and we have a good standing point under the IPC. I am proud to say that Gambia is fully participating in almost all the sanctioned games. We have opened our registration for others also to come and see where they can excel, to come and register with us. And this is why we are scouting. Because so far, we are only competing in 2. And hopefully the third one would be Yama, where he will do this, the discourse. It's going to be a new thing. He's already registered. So we are hoping that he will go for the classifications. And from the classification, we are hopeful that yes, she will be able to qualify to attend one of the international games. Notwithstanding, government is not relenting, because government has ratified the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities since 2015. And Article 30 of that convention has provision for participation in cultural life, participation for leisure, participation for recreational activities, and participation to sports. This is why GNPC has a role with support from government to fulfill this aspect. Government has further gone to domesticate this convention by ratifying, developing a Persons with Disability, or shall we say Persons with Disabilities Act 2021. It's been passed to Parliament and is now enacted. It's a law. We will go into that in subsequent interviews or in subsequent gatherings, because we have our parent body, that is the Gambian Federation of the Disabled, taking the lead for the dissemination or popularization of that act. And Section 56 of that act is also talking about recreation, leisure, and sports for persons with disabilities. So it's in line. It's in line, and this is why GNPC is taking the lead with the support of government. And when we say government, we are talking about all the arms of government, specifically the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Sports Council, and of course, the National Olympic Committee. They are very supportive. We are proud to say that most of the outings, they have a hand in supporting our athletes to showcase their potentials at the international level. So we thank government through National Sports Council, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we also thank the NOC for also contributing immensely to support our athletes internationally. Notwithstanding, we still want to indulge their cooperation. We still want to advocate. We still want to plead. We still want to solicit their support to continue supporting the Gambia National Paralympic Committee to achieve their aspirations. If we have our qualifications, it would be a shame not to participate at international level. But I am glad to explain that we have about 5 competitions this year prior to the September Paris Paralympic Games. I have already mentioned them. The trip to Dubai from the 29th of this month, that's just next week.
Yes.
Another one to Tunis, that would be next month by the 6th, by the 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah. We have another one in April, which is talking about Morocco and Japan. Then we have one also in May in Georgia. So we are proud and very happy to say that we have secured funding for the tickets and hotel accommodations for athletes who have qualified or who are going to complete their qualifications, so that we'll prepare them for the next Parasports Games or Para Games in France. All we are asking for now is your support to pay allowances for our teams that are traveling to these games, the classification games and the qualification games. We have 2 qualified classification officers. Danjo is here. He should have been in South Africa by now. But because of funding, we cannot lift him to go to South Africa. But he has his qualifications from Ghana, the last time we have these Para-African Games. So it's the same bottleneck, or it's the same problems we are facing when it comes to paying allowances. We don't have it. We can only solicit support from our sister organizations, other philanthropists, and government, or the people of the Gambia, for that matter. So we plead, or we are soliciting your support to make us proud in representing Gambia. For these specific 5 trips we are asking for, is just specifically is about $575,000, so which is less than $600,000 for these 4 months. Once we are able to get this thing, we are assured that yes, our para athletes will also do something. I'm sure of that, because they have gone that far. So we don't want them to lose hope because they cannot complete their qualifications for the Para Games in 2024, September in France. So this is the main cause now. Aji has already told you about what we have nationally. And internationally, this is what we are forging for. Like I told you, for the 5 games prior to the Paris 24, we have secured funding for the athletes, for their air tickets and their hotel accommodation, which I think is very, very, very great and expensive. So all we are asking for now is for their allowances to be paid. We have 2 sets of teams going. We have the powerlifting team and we have the athletes team. So we are talking about less than 9 people. So please join us to advocate and solicit support from the general body, that's the Gambian at large, or even our friends outside, to make us realize our dreams in attending these international qualifications to get us to France 2024 by September. Without much ado, I want to seize this opportunity to thank you once again. But before I conclude, I want to still indulge your cooperation. Perhaps my president, Suleiman Koli, is online and he would want to substantiate on what I have said before we entertain questions. Mr. Koli. Mr. Koli, the ball is in your court now. Yes, can you please substantiate or...
The development aspect of the Paralympic situation in the Gambia, and also achievements, and looking forward also for greater achievements with the support of each and every one of us. Notwithstanding, the media houses, you have a great role to play in terms of disseminating information to Gambians and at international Gambians at home and at the international level. Like the previous speakers outlined, my admin secretary Mama Fal, the press attaché Haji Drame, the Secretary General Seni Kamara, Paralympic movement in the Gambia, many may not know that we are definitely moving from one level to another level if we compare to the previous years. Today, we are proud to say that Gambia may not be known nationally in Paralympic sports, but we have great credit at the international level in terms of participation, in terms of contribution towards the development of parasports, both at the African continent and also at the international level. From the African Paralympic Committee to the International Paralympic Committee, Gambia is not left out. We are fully engaged and we are fully participating effectively and efficiently. But as it's always been stated, the only challenges Gambians usually face is to do with funding. Funding is always the key to most of our problems or challenges. So this year, and the qualifications have started since way back in 2023, the teams have been participating in so many events from Switzerland all the way to Dubai, and also other countries, including Ghana as well for the last African Para Games. So it is very, very important that contribute towards making sure that it's fully supported. We have a powerlifting bench, a gym that is already in the Gambia, which is used by our athletes, a standard for persons with disability, and also some other equipment as well. And this year, as my Secretary General outlined, that we have secured funding for hotel accommodation and registrations for our teams going to Dubai, Tunisia, Morocco, Georgia, in Tbilisi, and also the team traveling to Japan for the World Para Series in May. So at the moment, all that we need is just to make sure that our athletes and officials traveling to this event are given the necessary support of allowances for them to at least have something to live back home and something to have in their pockets when traveling, which is very crucial and is very, very important. So this is all that we ask for, and it's not much. I believe the government of the Gambia and the stakeholders, well-wishers, friends and families will be able to come on board and give that necessary support to make sure that our athletes also smile and excel at the international level and also back at home. Before, you might think I jumped the boat to the, instead of riding on the boat, I jumped to the sea without saying much about the development aspect in the Gambia for that matter. We have started way back in 2009 to 2010, all the way to 2015 in developing sports at the regional level. And now we are still doing that part again to make sure that we have all athletes competing in Paralympic sports nationally at all regions. And also we secured funding for a program in physical education, inclusion of persons with disabilities in the physical education of the school system, as Secretary General outlined. Also, that is also in the pipeline that we are working on as well. And there are so many things that are also coming on board. But for now, we will now state that Gambia is in the stage and ready to compete at any level. And we have so many disciplines. We have wheelchair basketball, athletics, powerlifting, table tennis, lawn tennis, sitting volleyball. We also have rowing. The rowing machines are in the Gambia. We also have other programs as well that we are trying to also to include into the curriculum of the program of the Paralympic movement in the Gambia. And all these things we also want to see being utilized at the school level, so that disabled people who are young and at the school time can able to start doing para sports and enable them to participate at the international level.
Thank you.
Notwithstanding, not to
Thank you.
on the
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
and the discussion, I would like to say that I am grateful for everything, and I hope Gambians will come to our call. I thank you all.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you. You're most welcome. Colleagues, friends, I think we've had it. It's not all, but the gist of it is already mentioned. And we are proud to have you here. And at this juncture, I would want to invite questions and answers from the press to clear some doubts or give more insight to our conference today. I thank you very much for your attendance.
Okay, bound, it doesn't matter. Because the reason why I'm asking this question is I want to interview an international athlete, Anna Corrent. She is the champion in the Rio Olympics, table tennis. She's also wheelchair bound, and through her table tennis, she's able to change her life, the life of her family, and so many other people as well. So I think when it comes to the aspect of government, when we engage them and show them that para sports is important, we can change the life of the athletes and their families and their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that question. I would be very happy to say that yes, we have on several occasions engaged government, and they understand the importance of parasports. And this is more so why they give us the support. Not as we needed it, but to be honest, they have also contributed because of their take in it. Because like I told you in the act, and of course in the CRPD, government has the duty to promote, to protect, and to fulfill the rights of persons with disabilities. And sport is not an exception. They have supported us along the line, years back and up to now. Likewise, GNOC. So I would say they are aware. But like the saying goes, we still need to increase more awareness so that priority is given to parasports as it is given to football now. Because the able bodies are enjoying more than the persons with disabilities in sports. And parasports, like I said, is unique and is very important because you are creating a lot of avenues, like you've just mentioned. Because who knows, today you are not a person with disability, but tomorrow you may be. And sport is very important. Yeah. They are aware, but we still need to advocate, continue advocating and lobby for more support. Because I know they also have a lot on their table. But notwithstanding, from time to time, they can even extend arm to other organizations to help us. So I like that question.
Yes.
So it's a continuity. The struggle continues
Okay.
with us and with your support to disseminate more information on parasport. At least it may incite or it can give an inspiration to others to come on board and help us. Thank
Mr. Francis, have a question? Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
Okay, an open question.
Yes.
Because I understand there is a mechanism that government came up with not long ago in a bid to kind of raise more money to help all these different sporting bodies finance their activities. And I believe it's called a sports levy.
Yes, yes.
Are you benefiting in any way, shape, or form from that levy?
It not as officially we would say, because if it is official, we would have been communicated and they will ask us what we intend doing or what support we may need, or will give us subventions. It's not happening. We only request as and when we have our activities. But for our operational costs and the like, well, we are glad we are being housed here. We are not paying rent. We are not paying electricity. That's a great thing.
No, we are paying electricity.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, we are just not paying the
rent.
because this place has been given to many sporting associations. Okay. So we have our space there.
Okay.
For the National Sports Council,
Okay.
we pay. We
Okay,
pay that.
on the record.
So in short, the levy, we've also been hearing about the levy, and we do expect that they will soon come to us to tell us we also belong to that, because recently we all heard, we are Gambians, and we've seen when the team was going to the Africa Cup of Nations, how many millions we are gathered together to give them to go and play, and we are Gambians just like us there. So if we are going for a competition, we do not say we can be like football, because we should be very honest with ourselves. It's one of the most popular games in the world today. In every part of the world you go, you can compare to any other sports. That is there, that is the fact. But we do not need what football need. These are Gambians that also go, go and promote the Gambia, to the world. Because, for instance, when we went to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, we took pride. Modu was there. We took pride when Modu's name was mentioned as one of the few Africans who participated in a Commonwealth powerlifting games. So that alone, the minister was there. Many people were there. Everybody felt happy. But does that change Modu's life? No. Modu's life should be changed. It's a national asset. There are many, many young people here who want to do powerlifting. It's a very difficult sport to do. This guy will live, soon to Bali to come and train at Kairaba Avenue. Sometimes he has to pull his own wheelchair to come and train. Likewise, the athletics team, Malantamba will leave Bundu, pull his chair, come to the Independence Stadium. And you want them to go to international competition, we have to go and struggle to get them something to live from. I think we don't say they are not helping, like my secretary said. They have done a lot. But, comparing to others, no. We need to have the equal share in the national cake. Because we all represent the same Gambia, and the same flag we took when we go. It's the red, white, and blue and green. So therefore, if anything is given to an athlete with ability or able, at least to encourage this ability, to support and promote, I think extra should be even given to the person with challenges. Because I always tell people, we are just paving the way for those who are coming to join us. We do not intend or we do not pray for anyone to be a person with disability. But today, there are sicknesses that are in this world. You could be able today, tomorrow you are a person with challenges. So if you are not catered for, what is going to happen? You can find it difficult as an able body and come to disability, your life change. So that is what we want, not for us per se. But those young kids that are in Basse, URR, CRR, NBR, they want to come and be Paralympians. But you have to show them something that can motivate them. Our athletes, we must congratulate and commend them. Sometimes we go under a terrible situation. But because we have a leadership, that will never stop from the home national level. They will always push because they have extended their tentacles across the globe. And they have this good relationship with their stakeholders. Like this money that they are paying for the powerlifting team to Dubai, it's a very expensive. I'm a powerlifting coach, and I know how much you pay to register for events. It's very expensive. If we want to depend on that here, most of our events will not go through. But because the leadership is doing whatever they do. So your question about the levy, we have not started eating that yet. We have not started, receiving that money yet. Yes. So any other question? Is done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. once again, I want to thank you all as the pressman for the Gambia National Paralympic Committee. It's always a pleasure. You know, we can't do this alone. You guys have been supportive for the, for the many, many years. You know, we have programs that on private TVs, national TVs, newspapers. Whatever we do, they broadcast or they publish it to the Gambia, and that is what we need. We know it's going to be a huge challenge before our demands or our wishes are met. But we continue doing that, and we count on your support, just like you're doing today. I know there are many events today during the weekend, but most of you, choose this event to come here and help us to advocate for our cause. So we thank you sincerely, and we hope this will continue, and we'll continue to knock your doors, to help us reach to that level where we can have a country full of Paralympians. Paralympians, where a child or a parent with a disabled child will be proud to hold the hand of that child to any part of the world, to say, any part of the country, to say, look, he or she can do this and that. So thank you so much. And transfer amount?
The amount that was paid to...
Okay, the amount that was paid to Tunisia for our participation in the athletic championship through our, our support outside is $209,000. Euro, sorry, 209,000. Is it? 2,000, sorry, is it 2,000? No, in Dalasi, this is in Dalasi. This is in Dalasi. $209,000, 358. So that is what should be paid for this athlete that are going to compete. Yes, that is excluding the tickets.
That's like registration.
Yes, registration. And now athletes have to travel to Dakar because we don't have an option. If the government was going to buy us a ticket, we can tell the government that we want to fly from Banjul, so that to cut the expenses. But we don't have that choice. The choice is they have to pay for us how they want it. And therefore, that is why we are all traveling by land to go to Dakar, board there, go to our respective, competitions, and come back there. So it will be very difficult for an athlete to go under this without living Havington here to the family or even go home. So we've been going through this a lot, even though they've been helping, but we have gone through competition also without allowances. But because of the athletes want to sacrifice and they win. So we want to just ask, for the government, just like my senior men have said, consider us as, as also part of the, the people that are raising the flags of this country, outside. So on that note, I think, once again, thank you so very much for coming. And we cannot say, we cannot say much about your contribution and support to the GNPC. So we have come to the end of the press conference, and I want to also thank my colleagues in the executive, the athletes, and the coaches. Thank you for making this a reality.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good.